Everything involves risk. I want to help you today on how to take some of the right risks, how to more often know you're taking the right risks. Stick around.
This is the Franchise Pitfalls and Profit Show. Each week, we bring you the challenges and triumphs of being in the franchise development and consulting business. The things you need to make money faster. And now your host, one of the most successful franchise developers in North America, Don Shin.
Hey, good to be with you. I want to do a book review today, and it's really interesting. I have an upcoming podcast with Joe Sweeney, and one of the things we talked about with Joe was the fact that we may be, as Americans, we may be slipping in our desire and our comfort levels with taking risks. And so, I can tell you, as a franchise broker, a franchise consultant, as that being part of my one of the parts and pieces of my business, I am seeing a lot of people saying, "Wow, I really want to, in this pandemic thing or after this pandemic thing, I don't want to, there's more to life, and I don't want to be stuck in the job. Although, I'm afraid to leave that job. I'm afraid to step out and really do it. So, what do you have where I maybe can do both for a while?" And that's a really, really different approach, I think, than what I've been seeing for a lot of the last 20 plus years. Came across a gentleman, met Bill Treasurer, and Bill is the author of several books, but the book review I want to do today is called The Right Risk. And while this is an old book, the things I'm going to talk about today from Bill and in the book are keys to moving forward and starting to understand more about risk and what that's really going to involve. And, Bill starts the book out by saying risk is everywhere. We're left with two basic ways of dealing with it: do something or do nothing. And he says, whichever approach you take, you'll be taking a risk. To stay in that job could be as risky, if not more riskier than starting your own business or maybe going to another employer. So anyway, we're going to talk about some of the fundamental guiding principles that Bill talks about for making wise and what he says courageous choices. So how can we take more risk but make it easier to do? How can we get out of our comfort zones? That's a big piece here. Get out of our comfort zones and live a deeper, more fully engaged life. So here's one of the steps we're going to talk about today. One of them is be quiet. Hush the internal and the external voices that are yakking in your ears. Rely on some of your intuition. Disconnect some of your technology. Like, wow, you could say, but that's how I'm going to find solutions. Yeah, at some point in time, you're going to leverage technology to find out more. I've often said that the antidote to fear is knowledge. So yeah, you want to use technology, but unplug sometimes from the things that are distractions. From your phone always dinging every time you have an email. Turn the phone over, turn the phone off, put it in another room. Be quiet, be silent. Think through big and small ways that you can retreat and really think. We don't stop and think enough. We don't spend enough time thinking. So get away, quiet place. Turn everything off: radios, TVs, phones, and talk to yourself. Think through what changes that you're contemplating. So, okay, so first thing, be quiet. Second thing is make a move. There is, we sit paralyzed sometimes in our comfort zones. I remember my coach, and we're going to have Keurig Ashley on our show in the upcoming weeks. Keurig was one of my coaches, and Keurig always said, look, fear will just paralyze you, and you just need to do something. You need to take some action. Bill Treasurer says, make a move. Keurig used to say, even if it's not really a move that in hindsight, you can look at it and maybe it's not a move that really pointed you in the right direction or moved you toward your ultimate goals, that's okay. What taking a step did was break the paralysis, get you out of your comfort zone. So do something. Bill talks about breaking a risk down into smaller, maybe safer steps. Maybe hire a coach in franchising. You know, if you're watching and you're contemplating starting your own business or turning your business into a franchise, go to a franchise consultant, go to a franchise broker. And actually talk with them, get some advice. If you're a spiritual person, it says in Proverbs about the wise man has many, many advisors. And so make a move and make that risk something that motivates you to move. So be quiet, make a move. A third thing Bill talks about is to get a new line. And what Bill's talking about here is the negative self-talk. Really, really interesting that at our church, LCBC in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and we're the fifth or sixth largest church in the country with 19 campuses. We've been going through a process and a sermon series that's called Soundtracks, and it's from author and speaker John Acuff. And we have somewhere between, depending on what you read, we have somewhere between 30 and 80,000 thoughts a day. And most of them, it's been determined and studied that most of them are actually negative, or the majority of them are negative. So what are you saying to yourself? Are you saying, I'm not worth it? Are you saying things like, I'm not good enough? I am unlovable. So make them your outdated lines, but don't just get rid of them. One of the things in our series at church again, and John Acuff talks about, is you've got to replace it. So question whether it's the truth or not, and odds are it's not. And so question it, is it the truth or not? And then replace it with a healthy, positive, I am lovable. I am good enough to do this. I am worthy. So again, Bill's wording is get a new line. And that's, what is your self-talk? What does your self-talk look like? So be quiet, make a move, get a new line. Another one that Bill talks about is to push yourself, turn on the pressure, push yourself a little, maybe push yourself a lot. What I have found with me personally is sometimes I don't create enough deadlines for me. And then the things I want to accomplish just sort of drift. They just sort of slide. Another thing that I've been learning is that don't allow other people's delays to delay you. So I have been driving harder to say, no, I can't wait for 3 or 4 weeks to talk to you about this. I need to make a decision on this. And I've set my goal to make a decision on this in the next 7 to 10 days. So we need to talk in the next 7 to 10 days. So push yourself. Ask people around you about the things you're considering. Friends, family, colleagues. Ask someone to be your accountability partner that will hold you accountable to setting some deadlines and getting some of these decisions made quicker at a better pace. And then the last thing Bill says, again, be quiet, make a move, get a new line on the self-talk, push yourself. And lastly, he says, play it unsafe. Put yourself on the line. Sacrifice your image and maybe a little bit of your security to do what you believe is right. Do what you believe you are called to do. Do what you feel is your destiny. So play it unsafe. So hope you loved it. Go out and get the book. Again, The Right Risk by Bill Treasurer. If you want some more training, if you want some freebies from me, been playing some things at the bottom of the scroll here. My masterclass is fsacourse.com/masterclass. I've got a number of other things that you can have. My 50+1 things for massive results in franchise development. And I appreciate your being here with me today.